Rugby World Cup 2023, folks. Wow, Portugal, first ever Rugby World Cup win. They've now gone a win, a draw, and a couple of losses in Pool C. Not a bad effort, not enough for a quarterfinal, but geez, certainly one of the good news stories of the Rugby World Cup for Fiji. They're in the quarterfinals, but that's a tough one to take right before they head into a do-or-die match against England. We'll go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. I was a little bit delayed in watching this one because I was sitting down with Sergio Parisse and Chris Robshaw and James Weil online to record a podcast for the upcoming quarterfinals and whatnot. We were kind of watching the game and talking at the same time, so I was a little bit disjointed, but I managed to catch up on the bits that I missed. Look out for that episode coming up, by the way. It's called Captain's Call. But yeah, man, Portugal, they were looking to run early, and it's a feature of the game, and there was so much running in this game. Both these sides absolutely just kind of tearing it up after each other. It's certainly a high entertainment one, although there were a few kind of associated errors with that, which makes sense. The first half was certainly tentative. Like, there was only 6 points scored in the entire first half. Fiji were probably guilty of a few too many handling errors, like I mentioned. Portugal had a chance down line out down Fijian territory. Nothing came of it. When Fiji had their first chance down Portuguese territory, they opted for a 3-pointer, so 3 points to nil. And Portugal were just doing great work at the breakdown, man. It was really pleasing to see because that's something we've been looking at Fiji this World Cup and been kind of admiring their ability in that area. Storti was looking dangerous down the right wing. Habosi also looking dangerous for Fiji. Both sides had line breaks, and Portugal won another turnover at the breakdown to shut that down. Fiji won a scrum penalty. Their attack ended up going to touch. Portugal won a scrum penalty, but they ended up knocking the ball on. They had a line out later, ended up losing the line out. So apart from a penalty kind of in the 37th minute, there wasn't that many points on the board, basically. Both sides had kind of half chances or chances that they would set up but not convert. But converting happened a lot more in the second half. Portugal still looked really dangerous, but again, continuing that theme of knocking it on, but not on 45 minutes. Storti, he is able to gather an up and under. Well, he doesn't gather the up and under. Portugal kick an up and under. They gather it, spin it, kick through, and Storti with the gas to follow up on the kick through is just incredible. He's been a real live wire this World Cup, and it's pleasing to see him get a try. 10 points to 3. But then from the restart, man, it's just crazy. It's literally Portuguese line break up the field. Fiji get the ball after the Portuguese lose it. Literally line break it right back at them. Can't quite score, but they get the field position. They get their forwards to go to work. And then it was Maqala that had the big initial line break. Botia is able to hit back for Fiji. Burrows over from close range. So 10 points apiece. But then speaking of Botia, he gets a yellow card for a high tackle, which gives Portugal another chance. They go for the maul. They go close. And then Fernandes, the big prop, he's able to burrow over. So Portugal hit, Fiji hit back, Portugal hit back again during the yellow card. But despite that yellow card, 7 points down, Fiji put on a heap of pressure. I mean, they got to the point that they had a maul, they had a bunch of phases, they got another penalty, they tapped it from 5 meters out, more phases, end up knocking it on. So you got to give a lot of credit to the Portuguese defense. They held really well. And with a quarterfinal against England, who have been defensively very sound this World Cup, it's going to be a little bit concerning for Simon Roa Louis' boys because they've not been scoring that many tries. And Portugal kept them out pretty well. And then there was a bit of a kicking duel. Kicking duel ends when one of the kicks hits the camera, the spider cam. So it's not the first time I've seen that. It's about the third time I've seen that. I guess it does happen every now and again. Fiji, though, they weren't done with the try scoring. They did manage to get another one. Was it the flashy backs? No. It's the bloody prop, Misaki Dongia. He gets one after a maul goes close. He burrows over to make it 17 points apiece. And then Fiji are actually able to get the lead back. A couple of penalties on 72nd minute, on the 75th minute, offside. Then I think one was at the breakdown. So 20 points to 17, 23 points to 17. Is that quite game over? No, because Portugal's got one last throw of the dice, a bunch of phases, and then Marta gets it after Storti with the great snipe down the blind side, It's the wingers combining. They were lining up the conversion. They stopped the game to move the conversion a bit closer to where the try was actually scored, which is good for Maqala, who's able to nail the conversion to make it 24 points to 23. It's not enough for Eddie Jones's guys. If Portugal had denied Fiji a losing bonus point, it would have been enough to knock Fiji out and keep Australia in. But in this case, Portugal get their win and Fiji still get their quarterfinal. So both teams kind of walk out of this one as winners. But as I said, Fiji will be really disappointed that they weren't able to get a win here. Run meters finished 743 to Fiji, 566 to Portugal. That's massive. A lot of running in this game. Clean breaks, 8-6 to Portugal. A lot of teams have been out clean breaking Fiji, which is uncharacteristic. Turnovers conceded 14 to 15, a wee bit high. Fiji has more ball, 55%. They only have to make 84 tackles to Portugal's 168. Fiji tackle at 80%. Too low. They're going to need to be better. Portugal's at 84, which is a bit better. Pinto, 117 meters in a clean break. Marta, 6 defenders beaten. Storti, 3 clean breaks. The forwards did the breakdown work, but the backs were electric. Maqala has 199 meters and 12 defenders beaten from fullback. Habosi beat 5 defenders, but yes, Fiji will line up against England and Portugal. First ever Rugby World Cup win. Congratulations. It's massive. Very, very enjoyable game. There's only one game I haven't seen, and that is Romania up against Tonga, which I'm going to go watch shortly. You guys let us know your thoughts on this one, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Ta-ra.